Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? Isn't she precious? A love of 1 minute. Oh, I never thought true love could be making one as lovely as she. But isn't she lovely? Made from love. All right, man, you look good now. Let's get into the video. What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Darian, the BowTie Fragrance Guy. I love looking good and smelling great. If you're like me and you love to look good as well and find out about some great scents, some great new fragrances out there, and you love to smell amazing, and you've come to the right channel, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button? And while you're at it, go ahead and click on the bell icon as well. That way you get notified every time your boy releases a new video. On today's video, we're going to be talking about some inexpensive fragrances I have in my collection that have great performance. Now, that's kind of like hitting the jackpot, because oftentimes when a fragrance is not that expensive, well, not in all cases, but some, then a lot of times you don't really have that good a performance out of the fragrance. But again, sometimes we get lucky and we do find those gems where you don't have to pay a lot of money, it's not going to break the bank, and the fragrance is going to give you great performance. It's going to last a full day's worth of work. So those are the fragrances that I'm going to be talking about today. So if that interests you and you want to hear about some great fragrances that are, you know, cheap fragrances or inexpensive but give great performance, then you know the routine. Keep it locked right here. All right, guys, I'm back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked. Let's go ahead and jump right into the video. Before I actually go into the fragrances, let me say really quickly, I do apologize. Some of you guys have commented about the audio on my last two videos, and you know, I'm a fragrance reviewer and I am getting used to some different changes with equipment and setup and things of that nature. So do apologize for that, bear with me. I will tell you that it does take a lot of work to shoot a video. So sometimes it's like, hey, I'm not gonna go and shoot all these videos over, but I do apologize for the audio. There are maybe one or two other videos that I may release that I shot during that time frame where the audio may not be that great, but save me in the comments, guys. I know some of the audio wasn't the best, so all right, chill. We're good on that, all right? So let's go ahead and jump right into this list. I'm gonna give you, there's 5 fragrances that I wanna talk about. I'm gonna give you those 5 fragrances and get out of your way. And the first fragrance I wanna talk about today or mention is from the house of Perry Ellis. Yes, you heard that right. Don't adjust your phone or your television. I said Perry Ellis. And this one was really popular like 2 or 3 years ago. And this one is Perry Ellis Black Vanilla Oud Absolute. Now, again, this fragrance got a lot of love and attention in the fragrance community, maybe 2 to 3 years ago, and for great reason. Number one, Perry Ellis is not a house that's really known for making the best fragrances. But by that same token, you know, when you find a good fragrance, regardless of the house, you know, everybody wants to hear about it. And that was the case with this fragrance a couple years ago, but aside from smelling great, on my skin, I got great performance. And again, that's what this list is about. I got 8+ hours of performance pretty consistently with this fragrance on my skin. And I'm pretty sure for a lot of people out there in the fragrance community, that contributed to the reason that this fragrance got so much attention a few years ago. Now, just like a lot of other fragrances, a lot of folks don't really talk about this one anymore, but for great reason. 2 to 3 years ago, this fragrance was very popular. It smells great, a nice vanilla, really light oud with a slight little ambery type of vibe to it as well. Great fragrance, and it got attention for a good reason. Smells good and performs. From the house of Perry Ellis, this is Black Vanilla Oud Absolute. The next fragrance on the list comes from the house of Azzaro, and this is Azzaro Wanted. Now there's a Wanted by Night as well, which also I've sampled. It gave great performance as well, but this one gave great performance. Now, if you don't like a fragrance that's very sweet and loud, then this is not a fragrance for you. But again, I think the average consumer is going to find this fragrance extremely appealing. It does smell good. Again, it's very, very sweet. It's a very playful fragrance. But for me, it's like one of those fragrances that just sometimes when it's kind of a casual situation, grab and go. I like to throw this on, going to the gym and things of that nature. But guys, you can get this fragrance and as well as all fragrances on this list for under 50 bucks. And this thing lasts all day on my skin. Again, 8+ hours is really what I'm talking about with these fragrances on this list. And again, for most people, because their skin doesn't really, fragrances don't really stick to your skin, of course, as well as clothes. So when you can get a fragrance that you can spray on your skin and at that 8-hour mark, you can still pick it up again, that's great performance. And this one definitely meets that criteria. Again, if you don't like sweet fragrances, you may not like this one, but it does give great performance from the house of Azzaro. This is Wanted. The next fragrance, guys, is from the house of Salvatore Ferragamo, and this one is Uomo. Uomo. This fragrance right here, again, is another sweet fragrances. And for me, a lot of times those more sweet gourmand fragrances give better performance on my skin. And that's maybe just me. Could be you too, but great performance out of this one. This one has that famous tiramisu note, which is it's kind of like a dessert, like a chocolatey kind of dessert. And that's definitely what I get from this. This fragrance reminds me a lot of Pure Tonka from Mugler. But again, you can get this one for a little bit less than you can even get Pure Tonka for. And for what you pay for it, guys, for the performance, again, on my skin, this thing gives me great performance. I like it. Again, it's definitely a fragrance that, you know, don't step outside of fall and winter with this thing, because sweet fragrances get very cloying in hot weather. But man, when the fall and winter roll around, if you want a fragrance that's going to last all day long and you're not going to have to break the bank to get it, this is one to take a look at from the house of Salvatore Ferragamo. This is Uomo. Next fragrance on the list from the house of Bentley. This is Bentley for Men Intense. Now this fragrance has made a few appearances on a few lists of mine, because oftentimes when I talk about an inexpensive fragrance that does something well, this is probably going to find its way in that category. It made my list of inexpensive fragrances that smell expensive, and it made my list of inexpensive fragrances that give great performance. Again, I've already talked about the criteria of what a great performing fragrance is as it pertains to this list. This meets the criteria, hands down. It smells great, a nice ambery, leathery, manly, masculine fragrance from the house of Bentley. This is Bentley for Men Intense. And guys, the last fragrance on this list today from the house of Versace. This is Versace Eros. Versace Eros. This fragrance is still very popular today amongst the average consumer. Although again, of course, in the fragrance community at large, not a lot of people still really talk about this fragrance, but again, still a very popular fragrance. It's sold very well. And that's because it's just a mass appealing fragrance. But one of the things that kind of turned me off about it at first was it was so daggone loud. I mean, this thing performs, it screams. You got apple in this, you got mint, you got vanilla, a lot of stuff going on, but it performs like a monster. You know, I get 9+ hours of performance out of Versace Eros, at least this bottle that I have. And again, it was just, when I first got it, I was like, oh my God, this is a bit much, but it has its place in my collection. And again, if you're looking for a fragrance that has great performance and you don't have to break the bank, this is one of the best out there on the designer side from the house of Versace. This is Eros. Okay guys, that's my time. Thank you so much for taking the time out to watch this video on 5 inexpensive fragrances that give beast mode performance. Don't forget to take the time to like, comment, and subscribe, and share these videos out to other folks that you think could use this information or find me entertaining, because I'm your guy, Darian, the BowTie Fragrance Guy. I love to look good, and of course I love to smell amazing. So until next time guys, keep looking good, keep smelling even better, because I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.